Hello, Estela.
Hi, Liana, finally.
Yeah, it's been like we got to tell everybody we've been trying to make this happen for the last 15 minutes through
Yes,
Zoom, through other apps.
yes, and that today because actually we have planned this should have happened I think last week or a couple of days
Yeah,
ago, right?
yeah. So this
Yeah.
one is it's a very crazy one. Okay. So first of all, let's introduce ourselves because I'm new in your community, you're new in mine.
Yes, exactly.
So so be my guest.
Thank you, thank you. So I am Estela, and I am the owner from Artisan's Amor, which is actually an erotic shop that I created here in Timișoara, especially for women. So we focus on women enhancing sound, or maybe developing, evolving women's sexuality, sensuality, femininity. So it was always my idea, to give women the opportunity with the products, to have a place where they can talk about sensuality in a safe environment. Hmm.
Hmm, okay.
Yeah.
And but you're not Romanian. Like I found out earlier today, you're from.
I'm coming from Peru. I am actually
Wow.
Peruvian, yes, and I have been in Romania since like 13 years, but I am living in Europe since a long, long time. Yes, so love
Okay.
brought me here to Romania. Yes.
Beautiful.
And
So,
I don't regret it. Actually, I'm really very happy. I think that Romanian mentality is similar to Latin America, so I really feel like home.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear this. So, yeah, we got some very hot blood in us. All right. So, for Artisan d'Amour community, my name's Liana. I am Romanian, and I've been facilitating sexuality coaching, and not just through live sessions, but also through the social media information about sexual growth. And for 4 years now, I've kind of got the hang of, how Romanians react, what they understand through sexual development. It was a little bit extreme when I first came out with this,
Yeah, I know.
but I feel that it's starting to grow roots. I am situated in Bucharest, and I've rarely done events outside of this city, not because I didn't want to, but because they just didn't, I don't know, catch wings. Not yet, anyway. So,
Well,
yeah,
actually, this is your mission now, right? I mean, you have
yes,
first, me included, it's a kind first, we have to educate people here. The sexuality and sensuality has nothing to do with porno directly, because there is always
no,
this kind of things. I hear also some people that say, oh, you have kind of sex shop. And I say, well, no, I would have liked to have a sex shop, but I do not, So it's only
yeah.
erotic shop.
I think very few people know the difference between a sex shop and an erotic accessory shop where the atmosphere is different, the staff there is different. I mean, I
Yes.
think we're thinking of the old bombs, like we call them in Romania, these next to the corner stores where the people smoke in there, and it's just really bulky, ugly products shown everywhere in these slimy
or you have
underwear.
or you have a weird man there attending the shop, that you were a little
Yeah,
bit, afraid to make a question, but
yeah. So for me, the first, let's say, impact with this was when I traveled for my certification in Berlin. The
yes,
experience of going into an erotic shop is completely different, like
yes,
completely different. So
yeah.
I feel that this is important in our culture as well.
Yes, of course. I mean, you know erotic, it's part of our lives. We need erotic, we need sensuality, it's part of our daily life, so it's not
Yeah,
something that we need to hide,
exactly.
right?
Okay, so we have a structure for today
Yes, yes,
in all this technological craziness.
yes.
So the topic we agreed upon today was, do our communities grow? And we're going to talk about the information level, then live in-person events or any other gatherings.
Hmm.
And then we're going to talk about our let's say, input for the time to come, because the times are challenging now.
Yes.
So let's start with information. And I'm gonna let you take the first in the front lead here, because an online erotic shop in Romania, presenting itself online. Yeah, so I'd love to hear how your people grow at the
Yes.
information level.
Well, yes. I mean, we came with this idea. We started this idea like 4 years ago, and I took this idea from other countries. What I have seen, you have in London also very nice and chic boutiques, erotic boutiques, you know, or maybe also in Holland, where it's really very normal. You go there, like if you go to a boutique, right? So I brought this idea, and I have to tell you, at the beginning was really very hard, you know, very hard, because it was, like we said before, they can put you in the drawer of a sex shop. Actually, if you enter in my store, you don't even see a picture of a naked woman. So, I mean, you don't see that, you know. It's not sex where we are selling. But still, I didn't want to give up on that idea, because it's also my passion. I like, for example, erotic photography. I summon erotic photography. So it was part also of what I wanted to do, also a hobby, but also with business, you know, an entrepreneurial idea. But I discovered very quickly, actually, that before any kind of commercial process, the first was the educational process. So what we did is actually, first of all, just to commercialize top products, top brands that are already available in the best stores all over the world. So there is our names that people probably already hear about it. And these companies also, they invest a lot of money, you know, in a good marketing. And when I say a good marketing, it's a kind of marketing that you can go public with that. Just to give you an example, we work with a company in Spain that they have been investing on. I don't know if I can set any names of brands, or better.
I think you can. It's okay.
Well, for example, we work with Bijou Indiscret from Spain, and they have some kind of cosmetic and accessories for erotic, right? And they, for example, they have a very interesting program that it's kind of library that you can have access to via internet, and it talks about woman orgasming, you know, and this is made by women. So you see this kind of things from the woman point of view, you know, and this is the kind of things that when we start to work with a company, it has to be a company that are in the same level like us, you know. So we are very woman oriented. We like to work with companies that are made products made by women for women, because the everything is different there, you know, from the packaging through the message, through the marketing strategies that they follow. So this is really very, very important. I mean, it's not like you put a couple of products and then you open the shop. No, you have to think, or at least this is what I did. And this kind of things, that this kind of details actually give also a better access, because if you were, for example, as a woman, you wanted to buy a vibrator, I mean, you, in my store, you don't find this kind of phallus, like, you know, big vibrators that are made of cheap plastic, you know. No, you have a vibrator that looks like, I don't know, maybe like a bottle of perfume, that you can put it really outside, and you don't need to hide it anymore, because they are so beautiful. I mean, they are made for women, by women. Right. So there is a difference.
So at the level of information, the people that are in your community, how do you see them growing more precisely?
Yes, well, for example, we do our postings, you know, we are trying as much as we are allowed via Instagram, you know. We try to explain how the products work, which are the advantages, you know. I'm not the one that's gonna say, you know, if you have this problem, use this product, because I always say, you know, everything on her place. I am not a a sexuality coach. You are, for example, a person who could advise something, you know, but I have a product and I know which are the advantages, and we talk very open about it, you know. And this is one thing that we do. I mean, I am not giving advice like, for example, if you have this problem, you should do that or that. I leave it for people, for the specialists, for example, persons like you, that you have studied for that. So the kind of information that is coming from us is actually a very real one, you know.
And how do people respond to these? I mean, how do you interact with them after you put this information out there?
Well, after we put this information, you know, people are sending us messages, for example, that they want to have maybe a more implicit information, you know, because we are limited in Instagram. So, or they call us and they said, I saw this product in your page. Can you explain exactly how it works? You know, and we do that. We do that. In the meanwhile, also, I have started to make videos explaining how the products are working, you know. And this is where actually what people are reacting more positive to. People like really to see, you know, to have somebody, I mean, the person behind everything, it's kind of trustful, you know. If you know who is behind it and this person is telling you, I mean, I'm not afraid to put my face for a product because I know what I'm selling. And to give this kind of explanation, you know, it helps a lot. It helps a lot. Yes.
So what I've noticed in my community is that the best thing that works are obviously videos. And the online trainings, at least when I have them on Udemy, I know that that is the best content. And a lot of my guy members are a little pissed off because most of the things that I say are for women. And I always try to explain to them, I live in a woman's body, and it's really tough for me to present from a man's body because I didn't have that experience. And for that, I would need a male collaborator that went through a certain kind of training, because it's not just anybody. I mean, not because you just own a penis and then you're good to explain stuff. You need to have a certain training for this. And as soon as I find somebody, sure, I'll obviously pass the same type of information for men as well. And I know that I've also had the same challenge with social media accepting, you know, information. I did have some posts blocked before I even published them.
Oh,
that was extremely, this was frustrating. And it was images that were present on other accounts, because sometimes I do that. I seek inspiration online. And I take it on my account and I link the account, then it's not allowed. And I'm like, wait a second, what's going on? It's the same image that you guys allowed. So it's a little challenging. However, the information goes out there. And what I've found is that the slowest information is related to the text that I write, because I put my coaching thoughts into texts also. But I guess people don't have the patience to read those.
You read it all?
And a lot of people told me, you know, you write really long caption text, and I don't have the time to read those. So I told myself I'll have to think of a way for me to send out those messages, maybe not in writing, in a different way. So, but, and another funny thing that started to move recently were the stories, where I put questions and people can send me their answers and then I share them. And the most beautiful thing that happened at an information level, I created an entire post recently after people reacted in my stories. And as I was sharing, I was posting stories with answers, people were reacting, were saying, oh, I didn't know there were so many singles out there. So I created an entire, post about low libido and being single and being like, that was, I had a different post planned for that day, but I put that one. So I told myself, okay, something's moving, something is changing. And I like the community inspired post the most.
That's really very nice. I think that people also, they want really to interact, you know, but I think you are doing it really very good. I mean, you are one of the few sexuality coaches here in Romania that are really very, let's say, very brave to talk about subjects that probably not everybody wants to talk about, you know. So really,
yes, thank you. I had a price to pay for that. I had to give up entirely my past professional life, but I paid the price. I said, okay, this was my admission fee into coaching around sexuality in Romania. Fine, so be it.
Yeah.
But I hope there will be more, and I hope the consciousness will just shift somehow, even in Romania.
Yeah, you
So
know
let's
what?
look at.
Sorry, excuse me. Just to say something, I also hope that things change. Of course, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a business also for me, so you know, I have to make it grow. But if people like you, like me, and maybe there are others, and maybe through this, we're gonna also like incentive others to make this move and to talk more about women sexuality and sensuality. I think that this is gonna change, because you see this happening everywhere. We have really famous sex coaches in the world, you know.
Yeah.
So, and there are really, I mean, they are not exactly, let's say, like very easy women that are talking about it. They are business women, they are psychological. I mean, so, you know, there is nothing to be ashamed of. It's just the way how this is presented, you know. And you are doing it, that's what I say, you are doing it great, because you are very, you are talking with facts, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you have to continue doing that, because this is the only way, you know, that we can convince women that really we have to take care about our sexuality and our sensuality. And when we talk about sexuality, we talk about safe sex. This is what I always say, safe sex, not the porno sex.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
One progress forward, I think, will be when our country will also have education around dealing with pornography. I know this is done in colleges in the United States. Somebody sent me a link with a short documentary presenting, you know, colleges having a curriculum where students actually learn how to handle pornography. It's gotten that big, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll have a sociology university in Romania who's going to approach that eventually.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let's hope.
Okay. So the second thing that we wanted to talk about were live events and other types of gatherings.
Yeah.
And I know that you've had some in Timișoara.
Yes, actually, we used to have it a lot, and people love it. I mean, really, our events, they were always a kind of party and gathering, and I miss them so much now. I'm so sad that, I mean, all of the things that happened in this pandemic, this is one of the things that I'm missing the most, our events. We used to have, for example, events where there was a product launch, you know. We used to have a party, we used to have Prosecco, we used to have a DJ, of course, a woman DJ, always on the woman's side. You know, it was really very nice. But we also used to have some kind of guests who were coming to talk to a group of women. We have sex coach. We used to have also courses, you know. We have, for example, fellatio courses, which was in a very restricted group, but we go for that. We used to invite also, if there was a lunch, for example, for a new vibrator, we used to invite gynecologists who can speak with our women about what is it, advantages, etc. So our events were always really good, and people were happy to come to pass by and be part of that. Yes.
And you had mainly women there, probably.
Yes, mainly, but we used to write down on the invitation if it was just for women. No, if it was a subject that it was important for women, then we did it for women. But if it was something more, let's say, general, like the launch of a product, then we used to have also gentlemen coming there. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
What about you?
In my case, well, there were different types of events. First of all, the most beautiful ones were the practice-related events. Those I did just with women. And that was the most beautiful one. I mean, we had 2 hours per week, and it was amazing because most women were saying, wow, in 2 hours, I can't believe that I didn't pick up the phone and check out my social media or messages or anything. I'm present here. And that doesn't happen in everyday life. So that was the first really good quality feedback that I got, you know, saying, wow, this is needed. Then there were the retreats. Those were much rarer for me because I needed a certain number of participants. And somehow I feel that women were at least intimidated because I didn't say femininity, I said sexuality. And I guess just because I said sexuality instead of femininity, a lot of women got scared and intimidated. That's, how I put it. But maybe there were other reasons and I just didn't get them.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did those, they were very powerful. And the most powerful one was in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I still have the women from that retreat in my community. We meet for teas every now and then. Yeah. And a lot of them changed their diet. They went more vegan friendly
Mm-hmm.
after that one. Yeah. And then there were events where I was invited into various communities, yoga communities and so on, where both men and women joined.
Mm-hmm.
And I also had couples events. The last one that I had was in 2017. I
Okay.
also had a male collaborator. He was not Romanian. And I did various like massage demonstrations, an entire retreat around massage, cacao ceremony, and we had both men and women there. And yeah, that was a very delicate space, especially because it was announced publicly, some of them with Facebook ads. Like we managed somehow to have a Facebook ad for one of those. And I remember that people were shocked, were like, crazy, what are you doing? But at a second, at the same time, they joined, they did come. And a lot of the women facilitators just for women's events were shocked to hear that we had more men participating there than women.
Really?
And one woman said, wow, that's not possible. That didn't happen. It's usually women and just 2 or 3 guys, shy guys over there. And I'm like, no, with the practice, when you mention that you're going to be nude and exposed and do, I don't know, genital massage or any other demonstration, guys will just, make a cue. And women will be like, no. When it's events around talking, of course, you get dozens of women and maybe 1 or 2 or 3 guys. That's what I noticed, when I was doing those events. I haven't done those universal, let's say, or just for everybody events for a long time, because you do need, like, I can't do them just on my own as a woman. I do need a male counterpart, somebody with whom I really resonate and practice. And that's, I gotta say, that's rare. It's not impossible, it's just rare. But when they happened, yes, we would get feedback from couples, especially, saying, wow, after being married and having kids, this actually helped us ignite the spark again.
Yeah.
I said, awesome. That's what retreats are for.
Yeah. I mean, no, really. And it's a pity. I mean, if you see other countries, these kind of things are normal, are normal. And for example, here, well, I personally, I don't know if something like that has been taking place here in Timișoara. For example, probably only Bucharest or Cluj, let's say. I personally, I don't know if something like that happens here.
I don't know anything about events there either, meaning those kinds of events. Women's circles and gatherings, sure. I do know about those. But sexuality retreats, I don't know. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last thing on our list were the trends, and our recommendation for what is, the period that is about to come.
Yeah.
We know that things are not so bright.
No. No, I mean, with this pandemic, I think a lot of things have changed. Our behavior has changed also. I mean, this is for everybody. Nobody can say, no, I'm not affected. I mean, somehow we are affected. Yeah. I mean, if the person next to you is affected, then you are affected somehow too. So I have to say that April, May, I mean, after the pandemic, it was a very good time for us with a lot of sales online. It was really, it was like people were adapting to the new situation. And at that beginning, probably everybody was happy and everybody was thinking about having a good sex, So we got very good sales. It was very good for us, the pandemic. And in the meanwhile, things are coming to normality and going back to normality. Yes. Yes. I think that you also can see that, right? Or how was it?
The classes online were more solicited, let's say. events, no way. And also the individual coaching sessions, I had to stop them. And nowadays, because the quarantine is lifted, people have started coming to coaching again, but I didn't get around to do events, not yet.
Yeah.
However, I was looking ahead and thinking, okay, whether we'll be quarantined again or not, this topic, because we're going to live more in the home, and our work is going to change a lot, at least in the upcoming year, because the virus doesn't go down so fast. So what would I suggest to people? Like, what would I honestly suggest? And the only two things that I have were putting aside some time, some, quality me time, at least once a week or once every 2 weeks, especially for moms with children. I don't know how that can be done. I mean, everybody knows their life situation, but I do know that you need your me time, especially if you're going to live inside the home with your kids, with your husband, with maybe parents. Some people, depends on their situation.
Yeah.
So just, an hour, 2 hours, that's luxury for many, but you got to start there.
Yes.
And then in that time, obviously, try to find pleasure. Like, before you think of sexuality, orgasms, and anything, you need to find pleasure. Like, pleasure is the entrance to anything else. And it can mean anything. It can mean just laying down and breathing deeply. It can mean taking a bath with perfumes or oils or anything.
Yes.
It can mean dancing, whatever. It can mean just staying naked. Some people, I don't know how many people have this habit of staying naked in their homes. I think for many this is extreme, but at the same time, you got to allow your body, that's the importance of pleasure, to be more expanded, more relaxed, and feel free. That's how it all starts. I mean, the second you tense up, worry, you, what is this? Like, you bend over and just start going, if you change your physiology, you're going to change your internal shift as well. So state.
Yes.
So that's why I always say get physical in a pleasurable way, not necessarily with sexuality. Just get physical in the most pleasurable way and accessible to you. But you got to do it. Because if you don't, I look at myself. If I skip my sex practice for a few days, when I get back, it's like I got to start, lighting up that spark again. And it takes some time for me to do it also. Like, bodies get out of tune.
Yeah, no, you're right. But you know what I think, let's say I have a theory about what happened. It's that before, couples used to have sex because, I mean, you were missing it, you were having your job and everything, and then you found a time, and it was nice, to take the time to meet in bedroom, and to have sex. And now I think that this idea that you see every day the person, especially probably you are every day running with your jogging pants, no bra. So somehow it's not more attractive anymore, So couples, they have to reoriented everything again, and to try to get this spark by again making some time for them, but also to realizing that times are hard for some of us, not for everybody probably, but some of us probably are having a tough time right now. So you need to give your partner, if it's going through this kind of situation, also time, to adapt to the situation. You have to realize that maybe your partner has financial problems, or it's afraid about the job. So the other counterpart of the partnership, they need and must understand this. We have also to accept. It's not like, oh my God, again, you don't want to have sex with me. I mean, probably I cannot. It's not the best time for that. But maybe it's gonna help me if you just, like you said before, you lay with me here. Let's watch a movie, and then maybe the spark will come again. But this has to be relearned.
Yeah. Like, hold space in a really gentle and delicate, understanding way.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Definitely.
There's gonna have to be a lot of understanding now. Before was easy. It's like, okay, you have been working the whole week. Friday night, let's have sex.
Yeah.
But now
we could go out more. We could travel more. It was more exciting. Now it's
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't want to leave you guys with just, this advice. We also have something for you.
Yes.
So for the upcoming days, we're going to have some sales in our, let's say, products or the things that we offer. And these are offers that we give you, and they're going to last you for a long time. So, consider them. In Estella's case,
okay. Should I say that then? Okay, well,
yes.
For your community, Liana, we have a special code for a reduction of 20% on all the products on our whole online shop. 20%, wow. Okay, with the code Liana20 at artisansiamor.com.
Yes. We'll also make sure that we link this somewhere. If not, we're going to post also. Yeah. And I think it expires. When does it expire?
Until Sunday. People, you guys have time to buy until Sunday, yeah, with an extra discount of 20%.
Awesome. So on my part, for anybody in Artisan d'Amour community, I also have a 20% discount, and that is for my sex dojo for women. So ladies, if you want to get into practices, then by, Sunday also, you're going to be able to access with Artisans 20, that's the deduction code, and the program, you're going to keep it for forever.
Wow.
So, you're going to have a lot of time, no matter what. We're quarantined or not, you're going to have time to go week by week through the practices. And I do those practices with you. You're going to see there. Yeah. It's like coaching, but not in person because we can't meet. It's online.
Wow.
So, yeah. So we hope that you enjoy these, and we hope that, Estella and I are going to have more opportunities to connect. Hopefully also live, hopefully it will be possible to do more things in person.
Yes,
also.
And this was the first time, but maybe also, our followers can let us know if they have interest that we do more of this, or is there any specific subject, that we can discuss live.
Yeah, sure.
Good.
So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy. And Estella, thank you very much for joining me. And we'll be keeping in touch.
I thank you for inviting me, Liana. Okay?
Yes.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.